Today's sentimental video for the 5th of April 2021 for the Quasi TV service. We'll start with gold because I posted the daily chart. That's looking like it's going to retest the lows. I think it's potentially because of the sentiment. The retail sentiment FXCM is indicating sell, and FX SSI as well, as you can see. So when it's above 50% it's a sell, and when it's below 50% it's a buy. We're actually net long on near enough everybody. So because of that reason, we should be selling, but we are above monthly pivot. So I think what we might be seeing, we see how we were in like a downtrend on the hourly. I think what we might be seeing, we see a horizontal diagonal break, sorry, excuse me, and a test of monthly pivot at 1714. And a break below that would then have our diagonal support, where we could potentially bounce off that, or we could have some support off the lows, which if you remember zooming out on the daily, that was MS1 for March. So that did come into play, and then we tested it again. So that line from MS1 for March is going to be quite important. Potentially a scenario is that we do break that horizontal line, and we can have MS1 support for April, which is 1669, and then whether or not we're going to get the SLC, I don't know. That is a potential scenario, so keep an eye on 1714. Below that we might target MS1, and we potentially could get the SLC, which is very far away. It's $75 away, so I don't know, it's going to be quite tricky. Potentially if we get down to the SLC, would have taken that liquidity and it would have trapped a lot of people into selling, and that action could push price up, and then we can test a monthly pivot from below. So 1714 is absolutely critical if you're trading gold, and we're very close to the SLC above at 1735. We're at 1724 now. So that's a hypothetical situation where we fall, break the support, and we get MS1 support, because retail guys don't really use MS1, MR1, they don't use the monthly pivot, so that will come into play potentially because it did in March. So that's the theory, and then we could take that liquidity, and then we could have a bounce, rejection of monthly pivot, and then we'll have to wait and see. So 1714 is going to be key. US 500, 4037 is the volume node on this session, and one below is quite far away, 3961. Not much to say about this, is that if you did catch it, then you would have done well. The retail sentiment has been indicating buy for months and months and months. So if you are trading against the retail sentiment and you're trading with the herd, then you would have lost quite a lot of money, because these guys, the retail guys, have been heavily short indices for ages, and what they do, they add to that bias, and by adding to their short bias, it pushes price up. You could argue it's coming up anyway, and by coming up, it's going to take their stop. So it's a double win for the smart money. And you note that the VIX is substantially below 20, which is the psychological round number. We're at 18, or even lower. I think we might be at 17 today. So if that keeps getting crushed, there's going to be no panic or worry. And the reason for the VIX and the S&P, how they correlate, is that if we've got a high VIX, it's very hard for large companies to forecast accurate models for for their profit and loss. If we've got a very high VIX, they are more uncertain about their profit at the end of the month. But if we've got a low VIX, then it's much more assured that they're going to reach their target, and the contract expiries will be in profit. So the big companies, they do love a lower VIX because it helps them with their forecasting models. This is why we look at the VIX, and it's substantially below 20. Because of that, up we go. I don't know if they're going to invent a risk event or anything like that. I don't know. I can't think of anything that could materialize. We're getting to the point now where North Korea could deploy some missiles, and it will just this will carry on going up anyway, as long as they're not targeting human population. But so yeah, this is definitely risk on. for the fixed reason and the retail sentiment and the technicals as well, because this is above monthly pivot and it was last month and the month before. So because this is pointing up, this is going to affect all our currencies because these are risk sensitive. If there is any USD or yen, then it's going to be very closely correlated to S&P and risk. So because this is going up, we should see SRCs above being taken. 84.50, 83.24, monthly pivots here. Buy, buy. So I'm just going to zip through. Don't forget you can always pause the video if you want to check your levels. SRC above for AU, which is a monthly pivot confluence. 76.70, 75.25, buy, buy. EA, 154.70, 154. We came very close to SRC. Sell, wait. EU, is that going to load? 117.85, and on the dot 117. We are a sell, signal center wait. This could perform well today for fundamental reasons. So do remember, if the S&P is rallying, then the dollar is going to get crushed because there's no risk appetite for the safe haven dollar. And if the S&P continues, then really this could continue too because of that fundamental component of the safe haven dollar. If the S&P falls, then this could fall because the USD will strengthen. So you have to remember that there are fundamental forces in play, and it will override sentiment as well. This is just just a very, very excellent indicator of price action, but we have to remember fundamental as well. I can't stress that enough. So I don't know what's going on here with the price action. Looks very sideways. And don't forget your horizontal bands as well. So we could see just chop in this large wide area there. 71 pip chop. So could be horrible. I'm not trading this one. Luckily, I don't like this one very much. So yeah, just remember the fundamental forces there. GU, 138.70, 138.09. There's your monthly pivot. Buy, buy. So there's a match between the two, technical and sentiment. And monthly pivots here too. So we're bullish above. NU, there's your monthly pivot. 70.50. 69.34, wait, 50.50. So don't trade this one at the moment. If you're using the sentiment analysis, it's going to be a flip a coin scenario. Euro yen, 130.65, 129.61. Very choppy, moving average trend. New SLCs there. So you see how they just got updated just now. 129.60. Buy, wait. And Jen, 153.61 and 152.25. There's your MR1, there's your monthly pivot, and we've got that support, so we could potentially bounce off it. There's no resistance above because if you look left, there's nothing there. We are in rally mode on this one, but because of the successful rollout, and this month we'll be allowed to go back to pubs, which is going to be a huge boon for the UK economy, and it's going to be good. So I think the pound's going to continue to strengthen because people are going back to work, and we're going back to normal, thank God. So buy, wait, dollar yen, horizontal bands indicating sideways price action, 110.75, 110.34, sell, buy, dollar CAD, choppy. As you can see, we're below the support and we're below monthly pivot 12555. It's easy to remember. SOC above 126 and 125. That's on the dot and that's on the dot. So it's very typical. Sell, wait, and if you wanted to entertain a short, it could be a good entry where you have your stop at monthly pivot. And so because your risk is small, your reward can be very great in respect to that risk to reward. So you had a 6 pip stop. I mean, that's just a bit too tight. But if that did continue to fall, that would create an amazing risk multiple. If you targeted that, So it's like an 8R trade. If you were very clever about your entry and you target SLC, that could be like a 7 or 8R risk multiple. So it could be a good trade. So yeah, moving average trends bearish, and we are a sell. Dollar Swiss. If you remember last week, this was a trade recommendation to sell. I'm now out. I exited due to the USD bubble being in the strong buy section, and ironically, the USD bubble has now gone away from the strong buy. So it's quite frustrating, but it's okay because the losses were small, and as long as your losses are small and you're practicing good risk management, you're not using like humongous lot sizes, and you should be fine. SLC above 74.75 and 94, and that just wraps up the video today. Keep an eye on your monthly pivot 17.14, and because we are above, we could do well because we've broken the resistance and we're above monthly pivot, and we could potentially target MR1. If we did, it would ignore the sentiment. So that is something to bear in mind. Remember, this is just an excellent indication, but it's not 100% guaranteed. Like anything, it's not a sure thing, but it's a good indication where price action could go. And as you see, they shorted it in a pretty big way. That action dynamically is bullish for gold. So have a look at the small time frame. It's a bit sideways there, but yeah, they sold it here, and so you can see how it corresponds to that. That little action there was a big move. It's yeah, ridiculous. Wow, $47. So yeah, keep an eye on your ratios and get the FX SSI indicators. Use the QuasiDB code. You're more than welcome to use it. I advise that you do. It's a humongous saving, and these indicators are amazing as well. So I'm going to wrap up today. I'm going to try and do the update earlier tomorrow, but I'll do the video around about this time tomorrow. I plan to wake up very early tomorrow, and I think I might be a little bit too tired to do the video. I will try and do the update before I shoot off. And yeah, so I hope you have a good day, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow.